What if this is all part of depopulation? So, guys, it seems that there are a lot of things going on with this whole depopulation theory. And of course, we've had the elites say it out loud. Now, there is something again that's just starting to bother me more and more. And it's the way people are offering themselves. Now, again, a week or two ago, I spoke about people offering themselves in interesting manners and violent manners. And I think, guys, this has to be a part of the whole plan, right? Because a lot of us were thinking depopulation by way of some catastrophic event or some catastrophic pandemic leveling the playing field or leveling the human race, right? Canceling possibly over 40 to 50% of us. That's how we looked at it, and that's what's been described over the last few years. But now I'm watching odd behaviors of people, and the odd behaviors are getting worse. The psychological conditioning of the human race is going down the toilet. I watched a video. Now, this has nothing to do with depopulating or people passing away, but it goes to or lends to psychologically damaged people, where a lady police officer wanted her boyfriend not to leave. So she wanted him to have sex with her at the moment she pulled a gun on him. And then he was trying to break up. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. I had to watch the video 3 times to understand what was going on. And the long short of it, he takes off because she wanted him at that moment to go at it. And he was like, nope. And he ran away to get into his car. She chases him, shoots him. She gets 10 years probation and fired from the force. And I think he's still laying up in a hospital, or he was laying up in a hospital with a couple bullet holes in him. So this kind of behavior, guys, this odd, strange acting of behavior is getting worse. And it has to be part of their plan. We were all thinking people like just being canceled out in large quantities, but instead we're watching people, again, off themselves in interesting manners. We're watching people who seemingly look normal have overnight psychotic breaks. Something is definitely up, and now it's starting to dawn on me what's going on. Now, there was a guy just the other day hanging off downstairs over the highway. He's hanging over the sign. This guy here. So, don't know what was going through his head, but he was dressed fairly well. He was talking about psych ops and we're not real, and his house was wired with explosives. And we're seeing more of this throughout the city, or throughout the world, excuse me. There are people behaving strangely. Now, there could be a multitude of reasons. You could blame Bluetooth, you could blame the internet, the wireless connection of the internet, the cloud. All of this stuff is transferring energy that our brains and bodies can't comprehend. And so, being that our brain can't process this, or our bodies can't process this is possibly another reason why cancer is skyrocketing. Now, obviously, I'm going to blame the arm ticket for the cancer skyrocketing, but also technology. And all of these things together, guys, are seemingly adding to the depopulation of man, or mankind. And just, again, people offering themselves in interesting manners. Just the other day, by my kids and ex-wife place, some kid threw himself out of a 4-story window and survived. Not sure how he survived it, but he survived. And again, we're watching more and more. Look, I grew up in the city for 48 years. Prior to the arm ticket being released, people did off themselves throughout the city, here and there. But now, it is more often than not. The calls for jumper up, which means a person hanging out on a ledge ready to throw themselves out of a window or off a building or off some kind of a ledge, has skyrocketed within the last 5 years. The behavior of people have skyrocketed, or the weird behavior, of people have skyrocketed over the last 5 years. I've seen more psych patients walking around New York City alone than I have ever in my entire life before the last 5 years. This is absolutely, guys, part of the depopulation. Now, what do? We have to get, first of all, hopefully you didn't take the arm ticket. Secondly, you can turn your internet off at night. I do it all the time. I turn my internet off at night, or when I'm not using it, I turn it off. I think a lot of these waves are disrupting our brains. And the fact, guys, that it's disrupting our brain is disrupting our sleep. Disruption of sleep over a long period of time can cause psychological problems, along with many other health issues that go along with it. So we're definitely seeing a lot of things go down. There are things we can do to combat some of these things. But if we start experiencing psychological breaks, you have to bring yourself back on your own. I don't know how to do that. I think you have to take more breaks, which means more vacations. If you can't have a vacation or go on a vacation, then you can go on long walks. Leave your technology behind and just walk. Especially for those of you that live in wooded areas, you can definitely pull this off a lot easier. That's going to definitely save your brain. As far as what we're seeing other people go through, there's not much more we can do but brace for what's coming next. And I think we're going to see like this massive explosion of cancer rates like we've never seen before. Never in human history have we seen anything that's possibly coming, which I think it's that. Because the amount of doctors that are talking about cancer rates going up, and in fact, a lot of doctors are now complaining that they're overbooked. So there is a problem. There are a lot of doctors, actually cardiac doctors, that are talking about being overbooked as well. So obviously, guys, it's something that was introduced to us in the last 6 years. I said 5, I meant 6, right? And we all know what that was. So actually, it is 5 years, excuse me. So all of that being said, guys, something is definitely wrong, and this has to be part of the depopulation, but it's not what we thought it was. It wasn't the mass offing of people or the mass dying off of people. I think they're going to introduce multiple levels of shit to get the population down. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.